Right. Second, Thinking Lock In Pod. Um, Justin and Liam chilling. Liam's chilling in Montenegro in the mountains.
That's what I'm saying. Look
Um,
at this, baby.
so yeah, awesome views for this pod. Um, Tell us what the topic for today is, Liam.
Yeah, so obviously last time we went into a bit of like thinking and like thinking of a better life, what we want out of life, and this is kind of how do we boost that energy. So it's the mastermind principle. Last time we talked about the conscious mind and subconscious mind. Now we're going to talk about the mastermind, which is, I can go in the definition right now, which in Think and Grow Rich, which is the book I love, I've read like 15 times the last 6 months. It defines it as coordination of knowledge and effort in a spirit of harmony between 2+ people for the attainment of a definite purpose. So it's people coming together to help you to be able to do something amazing, whatever that purpose that you've said, okay, I want a better life. Like, what is that? And how do you convene with people, with brothers that are going to help you be able to get there?
Right. I like that idea is coordination of knowledge and effort. Um, do you want to break down a bit more on what it means when we say the word mastermind? What is that sort of definition in your head?
I mean, I kind of just wrote the definition, but I think what you're hinting at is the universal mind versus the masterminds. Like, it's slightly different. There's 3 minds that we have. There's, well, not we have, that there is in general. There's the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, and then outside of that is the universal mind. We are Christians, so we believe that is God, but you can believe it's the universe, you can believe whatever it is. But in the Bible, what it says, when 2 people come together in the name of God, like, he is there also. And in Think and Grow Rich, it says, no 2 minds can ever come together without a third invisible, intangible force. You can probably feel it when you're having a conversation with someone and you're just rolling and you're just letting the subconscious flow. You're talking to your brother and ideas are coming out of nowhere that you would never, ever have had before. And that's kind of that principle of like, I'm talking to Justin right now, but the ideas that are coming into my head are outside. I know that's a bit like far-fetched for some people to believe, depending on how far you've gone into certain things. But yeah, what's your take, Justin?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that idea. Is that there's only so much. Well, there's an infinite sort of thoughts that we can allow ourselves to think about, but new perspectives, like allowing yourself to hear from new perspectives, but people that you know have the similar values that you have, will just enhance how you think about things. I think that when you um, are in an environment of guys that are driving towards success and pushing towards certain things, then you have these deep conversations about whatever it may be, and nothing is off the table, and you're able to not feel shame or guilt or doubt and like talk about whatever. I You develop a different type of awareness to be able to handle different things when you're alone. Like the environments of like this mastermind principle is the most important thing to then prepare you for life situations on their own, and handling situations better than you previously would, because you're gaining different perspectives from other people. And yeah, I think that's just very important, is that idea.
Yeah, it's funny how you like, there's 2 aspects of this mastermind principle. One's the physical and one's the psychic. And it kind of shows our personalities, how you have gone more into the physical side and I've gone more into that, okay, there is like this other thing, like the psychic, that kind of side. So you can look at it physical, psychic, you can look at it energy, matter. There's 2 things that make up the universe. There's energy and there's matter. The spiritual side of you is that energy, is that kind of, whatever you want to call it, the universe, God, this kind of stuff. And the other is matter. So it's the physical, it's you being here right now, it's this physical body, it's the conversation that me and Justin are having right now. That's the physical part of it. Whereas the spiritual side is that third brain coming into it. But I just think it's funny
Yeah.
that you kind of went
Yeah.
off on that.
What do you mean?
Like that is kind of like how we roll. Like, I'm always just like, okay, it's mind, like I don't do much work, or you're like, nah, let's just smash it, hard work. But obviously you tap into different things, and that's why we balance out so well.
Yeah. You're more making sure the mind is right. I'm more doing things. I mean, I also have been tapping into both, but yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. But yeah, I would say that the mastermind stuff for me, and I think we can kind of break in and talk about uncommon success.
Yeah.
Um, this is the mastermind group that me and Liam are a part of. It's completely changed the way that we look at life and how we want to pursue and live our lives. Um, and the mentor who's created this is Keegan Smith, and yeah we're super grateful for him to be in our lives and to help us connect with other guys that are looking to do more than just be in their own environment and never get out. So as you see, Liam is in the mountains right now. He wouldn't be there without this mastermind principle, being able to open up his mind and realize that you can do more than somebody else says that you can do. I think that's a big thing. I do want to touch on like me and Liam being able to be a part of this group of men that have just pushed us to think more and just see different perspectives of guys and just hear all different types of stories and all different types of things that people have been through. It kind of helps you learn that regardless of every different story, the more that you work on self development and the more that you then develop and talk to people, you realize that we are all alike and we just need to help people gain that awareness. So Liam helps me gain that awareness of the mind. I help him gain that awareness of more of that action sense. And like, this is why it's so important with this mastermind principle is that you gain different ways of looking at every situation. Um, I guess, for example, right? Like you look at Keegan is very doesn't like to plan much. He doesn't like to plan a ton. At the same time, like there's like beauty in that because he's just like, yeah, we're just gonna get going. And same thing with you. You're kind of like that. It's just like
Yeah.
we're just gonna get going. And I'm really more like plan, 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 plan. I kind of want things in place, order, whatever.
Mm.
But at times, like it's good for me to step back and be like, yeah, like I have a plan for today, but if it gets off course, it's cool. And so, yeah, I think that it definitely helps you understand that we are all very, very alike, and regardless of the situations that we go through. Um,
Yeah. I think
I'm trying to give it a good
so yeah.
example, but
I I just want to talk about a bit about like how uncommon success changed both our lives. When I joined, I was coming back from uni, and it was like I knew I wanted like a different kind of life. I knew I wanted better. I knew I wanted whatever it was. But when you're by yourself, like I was going home to back to the town, the hometown. I only really had my parents around, which aren't on the same vibration. My old friends from my old town aren't on the same vibration, and you start to look at stuff in a different way. So I invested in something like uncommon success because I wanted to be in different rooms, level up with different people, and that kind of thing has just changed my life over and over and over. Investing in different people, talking to them, it just kind of expands your mind and opens the possibilities. Like 9 months ago, I was driving Tesco delivery driver, and like Justin says, like right now, I'm chilling in the mountains. I'm helping people fix their knees. Like I'm doing beautiful, beautiful things, and there's no way that would happen without the mastermind principle. If I was to just go alone this entire time, it's not happening. Like there's beautiful things happening here even now. Like there's 4 or 5 of us here, and we're just conversating every day. We're talking about each other's businesses. We're talking about how we can get better, all this kind of stuff. And the energy that just comes together and just flows is unbelievable. We had it in Mexico as well, so yeah. Like these kind of, especially in real life experiences, are insane.
yeah, yeah. I think yeah, what uncommon success has done for me is to, and as well as like it completely relates to your situation, is that you realize the vibrations that you're on compared to the people around you. Like we definitely are on different wavelengths as majority of the people in our home environments. And for example, my friends, or for example, my family, like We love them. They're great people. It's just that we don't have the same thinking thoughts and we don't think of things the same way. And so when we get into a place where then we can be around people where we think the same way, the expansion happens. The goal that you think you possibly could do when you're alone, hanging out with your friends that are not really on that same vibration as you. Yeah, there's a bunch of doubt there. There's a bunch of worry. It can creep in, and it's definitely more fragile of a thought. But when you surround yourself with guys that are then in pursuit of similar goals, the doubt is just leaving slowly, little by little, because you're seeing people do the thing or do something that is impossible or a big goal or a big achievement, and they're still striving towards it. And you see their ambition and drive, which then gives you a new perspective on how to approach your goal. So that is like number one, and that's pretty much why I love Uncommon Success, is that I see so many people like Evan, Kadeem, Josh, Andreas. These are our guys, and like, you know, Tom, Kevin, like they're just grinding, and they know that they want to get somewhere. And when you see that, regardless of whatever level you're at, if you just see the ambition and the diligence to be pushing towards a direction, it's very attractive, at least from, the goals that I have for myself. And so I think this is important to kind of give people an understanding as to how they can develop a better environment for themselves. How can they, I guess, use this mastermind principle regardless of what their goals are, whether they be an athlete or a singer or an actor, or it doesn't really matter. Like whatever goal that they have and they aspire to get to, or a coach or a teacher, it doesn't matter. Like, how can they develop the mastermind principle? How can they begin to change their environment and be able to change their thoughts and their perspectives on their goals?
Yeah, yeah. So obviously, like if you're a basketball player and you're on a team with like Kobe and Michael Jordan, all this, you're gonna rise up to that level. So the first thing is like looking at who you are surrounded by, and I mean everyone's heard the adage that it's like you are the person who you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So it's like, first thing, can I get into a room with 5 people that I want to be like? And for me, it's like I always want to be the least knowledgeable in the room so I can learn more and I can get to higher levels. It's like I purchased into Uncommon Success so I could talk to Keegan, so I could talk to these high level guys, so I could then get on their level. So first thing is like, have a look around. Is there anyone that wants to do the same thing as you? Like I had a mate from uni that was kind of doing the same thing, and we started talking about it and then going, and I just ignored like the 3 other people that were in my uni flat. It was just me and him, and we were all grinding and stuff like that, and they were going out at the party and stuff like that. When you have someone else to hold you accountable and actually do that mastermind with in real life, it's amazing. But obviously if you don't have people in real life, there's other stuff you can do. But one of the best things I ever done was work as a Tesco delivery driver, and you can probably say the same as you've done some delivery driving as well. And we were just listening to podcasts over and over. So if you can't have those people in real life, you want to have those people in your ears, getting into your subconscious mind. So I was listening to podcasts over and over and over. 10 hours a day, I was going out delivery driving. I was just listening to podcasts the entire time. And that was allowing me to open my mind, to change my mind. So you are the sum of the 5 people you're influenced by, not the 5 people that you surround yourself with. So it's like, if you can't surround yourself with them, listen to them.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more than that. That's it. But I do think something big that you mentioned that I find myself consistently thinking about is I never want to be the most, or not never, but I never want to. More often than not, don't want to be the most knowledgeable in the room. Like I always want to be able to learn more from different people. And it doesn't mean it's like a level. It's really just like what they know that I don't know. I want to be in that room. I don't want to be in rooms more often when I already know what's being talked about. That's when the mind expansion happens, is when you feel as though you are the mentee in the bigger room. And so everybody needs mentors and mentees, and you should be a mentor to somebody. And right, like for example, I have my younger athletes that look to me for things, but I then will hop on and talk to Ben, Patrick, or Keegan, and be able to expand my mind on things. And even you for the knees, or Zach, or just guys that we know that know more about something that I don't know. This is super important for you know reprogramming your perspective. One, humbling yourself to be able to actually listen to more people is a huge thing, because it will only get you to a higher level intellectually, and how you handle pursuit of your goals, and to have you stop hitting setbacks. Because when you humble yourself and learn from teachers or mentors, you then can understand how they went through the exact same thing. So then it stops you from hitting that wall or hitting that setback or plateau. Um, yeah, and I do think that is very important. Like you said, like, again, Liam, you're in Montenegro right now. I'm home. So how do I then shift my brain into being able to continuously expand? Well, I'm studying every day. I'm reading scripture every day. I'm really trying to break down some certain things. I'm listening to certain podcasts, certain recordings of people who have done the things that I am interested in doing, and so their lessons can help me pursue faster. And the more that I only listen to those things and don't allow my subconscious to consume things that will not help me for the direction that I want to go in, that is a big thing. And so I think that being aware of the environment that you're in is very, very, very crucial. Something recently that I've been playing around with is being hyper intentional. I know we talk about this, but we be hyper intentional with the words that we speak. What about being hyper intentional with the content that we consume and the volumes that go into here? And so, what I've been doing recently that maybe somebody can get from this is, I don't allow myself to consume much until later in the daytime. I turn volume down on my phone completely. I don't scroll at all. And the only time that I allow myself to hear things is if they're going to move me in the direction that I want to go in. And this goes hand in hand with the mastermind principle, because regardless of whatever is going on around you, whatever noise is going on, it's going into the subconscious. Whatever words, they're going into the subconscious. So be hyper intentional with that. Regardless if it's the people talking around you and you're in a bad environment, or the music that you listen to, or the reels, or the TikToks, or the YouTube videos that you got going on in your head. You should decompress from that and give time to be able to allow thoughts to occur.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Like every single thing goes into the subconscious, especially like the music side of stuff that you're mentioning there is like anything that's emotionalized from the conscious goes into subconscious, and music's like one of the most emotionalized things. Like you listen to something and you're like either happy or you're sad or whatever. So whatever you're listening to goes into the subconscious 100%. And the more I've gotten into Christianity and this kind of stuff, the more if I even listen to that kind of music anymore, like I'm instantly like this feels wrong, like I need to go and listen to something else, or cut it off, because I don't want, my subconscious is now programmed in a way where that isn't what I want anymore. Like I've programmed in a way so only good things can come into my life. And if only good things can come into your life and only positive thoughts, the results you're going to get are going to be positive. So the way you're going about it with only listening to certain things like podcasts and stuff, I would say are still amazing to listen to. Cutting out the music, 100%. Cutting out reels, TikToks, anything that doesn't suit you, 100%. Obviously, it's really easy to get caught in that, especially how they are designed to literally trick your brain into craving more. But you need to have some kind of way of getting yourself out of that. So whether that's changing your screen color to a different color, or having some kind of thing that gets you out of your subconscious and start scrolling, to then thinking in the conscious and being like, oh, I need to stop scrolling. I need to stop getting this stuff away from me. Are you going to say something?
Yeah. So if you notice, I'm sure that there's going to be all different types of audiences listening to us, but I'm sure that everybody will understand what, sounds are and, reels and stuff like that. So if you literally hear this, and I kind of noticed this, like when Andreas edits my reels, there's noises that he uses to continue to have them watch, right? And so I thought about this in my head, and I'm like, okay, how do I stop that stuff from entering my head to continue to fall into the loop? And so I turned off the volume on my phone, and it's been extremely easier because there is no volume, and I just watch the screen, and there's like no, I don't know, like obviously I can see captions of reels and stuff, but it's a much different, and it's so easy to just scroll out. Very easy. It's
You're
not as
only using one
intriguing.
sense. Like if you're hearing music and then you're seeing the bright colors, like you're using more than one sense, and everything's getting lightened. If you turn off the volume, you turn off the color, it's not going to be as intriguing to you.
Yeah. No, it's a big thing. It's been helping me as well. So yeah, if anybody can take anything from today's conversation about, mastermind principle, environment, what you're allowing yourself to listen to, um, what would be if somebody out there listening is hearing these things, hearing these different topics, and like, what are these guys talking about? Mastermind principle, environment, right? Like, what does this mean, and how much can it change my life? What do you think could be the first steps into actually developing, expansion of the mind? Obviously, we have this amazing brotherhood, Uncommon Success, to be able to do that often with weekly calls and consistently connecting with brothers in here. But for someone who doesn't maybe have this opportunity yet, or, you know, what could be some things to directly start progressing, opening the mind, being able to be in a positive state consistently, and changing the paradigm in their head to be able to think about things with a better perspective rather than um, fall into the trap of thoughts that they previously had about certain situations? How can they start to, how can they change just from this pod alone?
I think one thing that's massive that I've learned is to change my thinking on how am I spending certain things. So this can be anything: time, energy, thought power, money, into how can I invest it. So what are you investing your time in rather than spending your time on? Like I want to invest my time in listening to podcasts instead of spending my time listening to music. Like it's a different frame. Just to give some context on this, I had not a lot of money in the bank when I invested in Uncommon Success, but it was an investment, and it was, some people could say it was risky, but then I was going to use it to buy a car. So I was like, okay, should I spend this money on a car, or should I invest this money in something that's going to make my life better? And if I spend that money on that BMW that I wanted to buy, I'm not being here right now. So how can you invest rather than spend anything? So even if you don't have money, how can you invest your time better? How can you invest your thought energy? How can you invest into yourself, into improving your mind? So, like I say, podcasts over music. First thing, get rid of certain music, especially if you're listening to stuff that's like rap and like the stuff I used to listen to. I used to be a big fan of Juice WRLD, sad, depressing kind of stuff. And it's like, try and get rid of that. Try and replace it with podcasts. Instead of listening to music in the gym, listen to podcasts. And then look at the people that you're around and decide whether they are going to improve your life and that they know a lot more stuff than you that you want to know. Are they people that you look up to and would want to become? If not, if you have the money to invest in certain mentors, do that. If you just have access to certain people, do that. But if not, podcasts. So yeah, that's a couple of things. What do you think on that?
Yeah, yeah, I wouldn't. That's 100% true. For me, and anybody that I would recommend is, yeah, I love that. How do I invest instead of spend? Like, you have the money to go buy that BMW right now, but
Mm.
you're not doing that, and you're consistently investing in the things that will progress you more to getting more income, to being at a, a higher vibration of thinking. So you realize that early on, and the same thing went for me. Like, when I joined Uncommon Success, I was door dashing like 3-4 times a week just to be able to pay for the thing. Like, I was broke. So, like, I didn't have any money. Like, it was all going to Uncom. But in the end, I'm now at a point now where I can make, you know, sustainable income. I can pay for all my bills. 20 years old, like, out of college. And so the only reason I'm able to do that is because I invested instead of spent. I like you saying that, but yeah, I couldn't agree more. Yeah, you want to replace the things that you probably know are not helping you with the things that can help you. For example, the music and the podcast is a perfect example. Or, even too much YouTube to then opening a book. That is good for sure.
100%. I think that's enough actionable takeaways. Like, we don't want to overload you guys with stuff to do. We just want to give you a few actionable things to do each week. And then if you are doing these things each week, if you listen to the last pod and you've done those 3 things, and then you listen to this pod and done these things, and then next week you listen to those things, you do those things, like, you're going somewhere. Like, it's game over. So yeah, like,
Yeah.
appreciate everyone
No,
listening. Like, I appreciate
100%.
Justin being here. Amazing, amazing stuff, amazing vibrations. We love it.
Yeah, appreciate you as well. It's a good time, man. All right. Think and lock in. It's
That's
a
what I'm
wrap.
saying.